on my pillow, and they won't cry, oh, they won't cry, no, on their own, beyond my years. Yes, I've known sorrow, but today, no, I don't walk alone. Sing it. We're all there together. The road to recovery, step by step and day by day. The road to recovery, God all along the way. I'm trusting God all along. Oh, let's sing together now. I'm on the road. The road to recovery. Step by step and day by day. I'm on the road. The road to recovery. I'm trusting God. You trust Him? Oh, I'm trusting God all along the way. I'm trusting God all along the way. All along the way. Well, give the Lord a big hand.
All right. Man, it's good to see you here tonight. I'm glad for this crowd, and I know that some more are probably going to come on in just a little bit. But we're excited to have you here. And I want to encourage you tonight, folks. That's what we're here for. We're here tonight to help folks and to help ourselves stay on the road to recovery. Amen. We don't only want them to get on the road to recovery. We want them to stay on the road to recovery and find that sobriety they're looking for. But it's good to see you tonight. How many of you were here this morning? Everybody here this morning? We had a great day, amen? And what a way to top it off tonight. It's good to see you. And I want to encourage you, be inviting your friends to come. You invite folks to come with you, and we're going to fill this place up on Sunday night as well as Sunday morning, amen? You believe that? Amen. Because folks, there's people out there that got hurts, habits, and hang-ups, and they need to know that there's a place they can come. There's a place they can come, there's a place they can be at on Sunday night that's not going to condemn them, not going to judge them, but it's a place that they can come to and they can be encouraged and lifted up. And that's what it's all about. Well, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Let's pray and we're going to continue to worship. Father, tonight we come to you and thank you, Lord, for loving us. God, I just want to thank you tonight for all that you've done this day. Lord, I pray tonight that you will speak to our hearts. I pray that you will help us tonight, God, to see you high and lifted up. I pray tonight, God, that you will help those that are on the road to recovery to stay on the road. Those that need to get on the road to recovery, that they'll get on the road. And God, those that don't even know they need the recovery, that God, you'll speak to their hearts tonight. Lord, help us to be all about what you are calling us to be. I pray this in Jesus' name. And amen.
If you've been walking the same old road for miles and miles, if you've been hearing the same old voice tell the same old lies, if you're trying to find the same old holes inside, you know what? There's a better life. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. Yes, he is. If you feel lost, he's a way maker. If you need freedom, a saving, he's a prison shaking savior. You got chains, say with me, he's a chain breaker. We've all searched the light of day in the dead of night, and we've all found ourselves worn out from the sake of the fight. And we've all run to things we know just ain't right. Say it with me, there's a better life. Yes, there is. There's a better life. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. If you feel lost, my God's a way maker. If you need freedom, a savior, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. Do you believe it? If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. Sing it. If you believe it, if you receive it, if you can feel it, somebody testify. If you got pain, he's a pain taker. And if you feel lost, I got the way maker. If you need freedom, a savior, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. If you need freedom, a savior, he's a prison shaking savior. If you got chains, he's a chain breaker. Amen. We want you to know that no matter what you think about yourself or what other people have told you about yourself, tonight, no matter what may be a reality right now in your life, God can make you clean from all of that. You can't do it because we've all tried to clean up and do better ourselves, only to fall right back into our old habits and our old ways time and again. Jesus is the only one that can change you from the inside out. It's not just about changing your behavior, it's about changing what you are on the inside and who lives there.
I see shattered, you see whole. I see broken, you see beautiful. And you're helping me to believe. You're restoring me piece by piece. There's nothing too dirty that you can't make worthy. You wash me in mercy. I am free. There's nothing too dirty that you can't make worthy. You wash me in mercy. I am free.
All sing together. What was dead now
lives again. My heart's beating inside my chest. Oh, I'm coming alive with joy and destiny. Oh, 'cause you're restoring me piece by
washing us clean. We know that when you have made us clean, we can never be dirty again because, God, we may do things that we shouldn't do again. But, God, when you have saved us and set us free from who we used to be, God, you make us a brand new man on the inside. And now you see us, not as a sinner, but, God, you see us not even a sinner who's saved, but, God, you see us as a saint, a person who you love and who you see as perfect because of the blood of Jesus. If there's somebody here tonight who's never experienced that life change for the first time, God, I pray that when the invitation is given in just a few minutes, that they would run down here and find out how they can give it all to you. And you can make them clean. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You can be seated.
All right, well, it's good to see you. I just want to say what a tremendous crowd we got tonight. I'm thankful for that. And for those of you that may be watching by the way of live stream, you're not looking at two screens. But there's a pole right in the middle here that makes it look like a divided screen. And we're going to get that fixed somehow, some way. But we're excited about you being here tonight. I want our ushers to come, and we're going to take our regular Sunday night Celebrate Recovery offering. And I want to thank you in advance for helping and for being such a blessing. And I just want to encourage you that you would continue to allow the Lord to use you. And how many of you know somebody that's not here tonight to Celebrate Recovery? Would you do me a favor and invite them to come with you next week? Would you do that? How many of you are going to invite somebody? Please invite them to come next week and be here. I just want to encourage you tonight to do that. But I want to thank you for being here tonight. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, I thank you for loving us. Father, I thank you tonight for giving us an opportunity to give back. And Lord, I just want to thank you for what you're doing here in this place. Lord, I want to thank you that the Gateway Plaza, the old Agricola Shopping Center, God, I want to thank you that the gospel can go forth. And Lord, I pray that you will make us a beacon, a light to a lot of people, that they will be drawn to you. Father, I thank you for what you're already doing. And Lord, I thank you in advance for what you're going to do. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm so thankful you're here. If you don't have an outline, hold up your hand. We'll get one to you down here. Anybody else need one? All right. I want to talk tonight. This morning, Christopher told you that we had a testimony tonight. We were supposed to have a testimony tonight, but that sort of fell by, and we didn't get to do that. So I wanted to share with you. And God worked it out anyway, because I really, down inside, selfishly wanted to be the first one to share in recovery here. And so God worked it out. You know, I've told people a lot of times that God takes care of widows, fools, and orphans. And I'm not a widow nor an orphan. So, you know, he takes care of us, and he gives us the desire of our heart. So I want us to look tonight. We're going to continue in step 3. A couple weeks ago, we started talking about step 3. And we're going to continue step 3 tonight. And we're going to complete this step. And I pray that some of you will really actually maybe work it for the very first time. Maybe that you haven't worked it. Christopher, are the kids coming out tonight? Kids, 5 years old and down? Where are you going to go? 5th grade and down. I'm sorry. Where are they going, Christopher? To the back? Going right back here with Austin, okay? He's right back here in the back. 5th grade is down. I'm glad that's great and not mental, okay? All right. All right. We started talking, when we started out this year, we started out in step 1. And it's on your outline. I want you to sort of help me look at that. Step 1, I admitted that I was powerless over my addiction and compulsive behaviors in my life at what? Become unmanageable. You know, I'm amazed at how many folks that really don't understand that their life is unmanageable. I'm amazed at how many people think that they've got it all together when they don't have it together. I'm amazed at how many people are not willing to admit they got a problem. And all you got to do is just look at yourself. All you got to do is look in the mirror. And all you got to do is understand, you know, the easiest step to take is just say, finally, I got a problem. But you'll never know what it is to understand or experience or enjoy sobriety until you're willing to come to that point. Now, the amazing thing to me is so many people think that they don't need recovery because they don't have a drug or an alcohol problem. But maybe you're like me, you got an eating problem. Or maybe you're like a lot of people, you got a gossiping problem. Or maybe you're like a lot of people, you got a problem with something else. You know, there's all kinds of addictions out there. You agree with that? Amen. But before we can ever change or get better, before we can ever work on what's going on, we got to admit we got a problem. And so I hope you've worked that step. If you haven't, I pray that you will. I pray that it'll become a reality in your life. Step 2 is I came to the place in my life that I believe there was a power greater than myself that could restore me to sanity. And folks, I want to tell you something. You've got to understand that nobody wakes up saying, today's a good day to destroy my life. And nobody wakes up and says, you know, I think today would be a great day for me to become an addict. But we wake up and we make some choices, and those choices catch us. And we don't realize that the choices we just made are going to be choices that are going to affect us for the rest of our life, but it does. And then you hear people all the time say, well, you know, I can quit anytime I want to. That's about the dumbest statement I've ever heard. Because I've made that statement myself. I can quit anytime I want to. Well, if you can quit anytime you want to, then why don't you? Do you enjoy it? Well, there is pleasure in sin for a season. God tells us that. There is pleasure. But you never go back to that first high that you ever experienced. You chase it. You run after it. You try to get it, but you can't. So if you can't get it, and you can't get that first high, you can't spend enough money to get that first high that you had, then why don't you just come to the place that you believe there's a power greater than yourself that can restore you to sanity? Because there's got to be somebody greater than yourself. You know, I've told you before that I asked a guy one day, he didn't believe in God, and I said, that's okay. If you don't believe in God, that's your business. I guess he thought I was going to condemn him. But I didn't condemn him. I didn't beat him up. I didn't beat him over the head with the Bible. I just said, that's okay. Let me ask you then, if you don't believe in God as your higher power, who do you believe in as your higher power? He said, well, I believe in my group. I said, oh, okay. I said, so let me ask you a question. I said, are there people in your group that's not as far along as you are? Yeah. Are there people in your group that's never even worked step 1 fully? Yeah. Are there people in your group that's worse off than you are? Yeah. I said, is that really a higher power? Can those folks do you any good? And he finally had to just look at me and say, no, you're right. And so, you know, folks, there's only one higher power. I hate to say that, and I don't mean to be ugly about it. There's only one higher power, and it's God. And he's the only one that can restore you to sanity. And then we come to step 3. And step 3 says, I turn my life and my will over to God's care and His control as I understand Him. Now, we all come from different backgrounds. And we've all got different experiences in church or with religion or whatever you want to call it. But we got to take God where we understand Him. We got to take God as we understand Him. And there's a lot of people, and I'm going to be honest with you, that say, you know what, I don't want anything to do with God. Because I hear people talking about God as their father, and if God is a father, no thank you, because my father was a jerk. And I don't want anything to do with that. But I want to tell you something, folks. There's a big difference in your father or my father and God being our father. Yeah. Because God is our father, you got to understand something, that He is close, and He's consistent, and He's compassionate, and He's considerate. Yeah. I mean, he says, I'll never leave you, I'll never forsake you. Some of you got dads that walked out on you. He said, I will be with you always, even to the end of the age. Some of you didn't have dads like that. Some of you had dads, if you did something wrong, he's going to pop you upside the head. You do something wrong, and God says, I love you. Come unto me when you're laboring and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. See, there's a big difference in earthly dads a lot of times and our Heavenly Father. But I've got to turn my life and my will over to Him. Well, you've heard me say it so many times. Most of you can do this as much as I can. You know, what does it mean to turn your life and will? It means to turn your attitude and your actions. I've got to turn my attitude and my actions over to God. As I understand Him, right where you are. So let me ask you now, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you sick and tired of going through the same old thing, the same old way every day and never finding it any different? Are you sick and tired of just playing the game? You know, there was a guy years ago that used to sing a song called The Great Pretender. And that's the way many of us are, isn't it? Many of us are good at pretending everything's okay when it's not. We're good at putting a fake smile on our face and, you know, playing the game, because that's what we've been doing all of our life. Because most of us have spent the majority of our life living in denial. We deny things. We deny things are bad when they're bad. We tell people things are good when they're not good. Why? Because we don't want people to think less of us. Or we don't want people to look at us and think that I really don't have it together. When we really don't have it together. And so tonight, and this morning, and the most of the time, I speak to a lot of people that are living the life of being a great pretender. But if you're ever going to find sobriety, and you're ever going to find help, and you're ever going to find hope, you got to get past that game. You got to quit playing that game, and you got to come to the place that you're willing to say, you know what, I don't have it all together. You know what, my life is a mess. And maybe I don't really understand, but I really hope that there is a higher power that can help me and restore me to sanity, because, man, my life is a mess. I'm messed up. And I don't really know about this turning my life and my will, my attitude, my actions over to Him, but you know what? I've tried everything else. And that's all I'm going to ask you to do tonight, is just try. Because I honestly believe that once you really, genuinely try God, you'll never go back. You'll never look back. I'm not saying that you won't mess up. And I'm not saying that you won't blow it sometimes. But you won't ever go back to that same old thinking, that stinking thinking that's got you where you are. Because I believe that God will indeed do a work in your life that will blow you away. Now I want you to look at the verse on the outline tonight. It's in Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. Listen to what Paul, the Apostle Paul, listen to what he said. He said, so here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do, God helping you. He didn't leave it up to you to do it all. He didn't leave it up to you to figure it all out. He didn't leave it up to you to get it all right. Look what he said. He said, so here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your ordinary life. You're sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is what? The best thing you can do. Embracing what God wants for you is the very best thing that you can do. So I want to show you 4 things tonight. I want to show you 4 truths or 4 principles or whatever you want to call them tonight that will help you to stop being the great pretender. That will help you to work step 3. You know, folks, week after week after week and year after year, I've been doing some semblance of recovery for 30 years. And the sad thing is I see people every day and talk to them every day in my day job that they know the 12 steps backwards and forwards, inside and out. You can ask them what step 5 is, and they can quote it just like that. You can ask them what step 9 is, and they quote it. They don't even have to think about it. They know these steps. But there's a difference in knowing something and knowing something. There's a difference in knowing the steps and being able to quote them and knowing the steps and applying them to your life every day. You see, not only do you need to know the steps, you need to learn how to work the steps. Amen? And that's what I want to help you do. That's my heart, that we learn not only how to, and that's why we have step study on Tuesday night. We start back this week or next week? Start back this Tuesday night right here at what time? 6:30. 6 o'clock. Right here Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. We're going to have step study. We have step study for men, we have step study for women. We've got a ladies' Bible study that starts back in a couple of weeks. But step study starts back this week. That's why we want to do step study during the week, because we want to help you to be able not just to get the steps down up here, but get the steps in here. In order to do that, you need to get involved in step study. So let me give you these 4 principles tonight real quick. Number 1, successful recovery requires me to walk by faith. Successful recovery requires me to walk by faith. Now, if you're here tonight and you've never worked this step, or if you're here tonight and you're still working on this God thing, then you may wonder, well, how can you tell me to walk by faith? Well, faith is something that you do every day. How many of you got in a car and drove here tonight? You walk by faith. Or you drove by faith. Maybe not trusting in yourself, but trusting that those fools that you were passing weren't going to hit you. And you know, that's faith. You get in a car, you drive somewhere, you're trusting that car to get you there. You ever flown on an airplane? You're trusting an airplane to get you there. We just had some friends in our church that were here. Oksana and her parents were here last Wednesday night in our church. And they flew 11 hours across the ocean coming from the Ukraine. That's faith. Think about that for a moment. You got a thing that's so heavy you couldn't pick it up if you wanted to. Humanly impossible for you to pick it up. And yet that thing can weigh tons, and it can start down a runway, and it can gain enough speed to start gaining altitude, and then it can get up there and fly 30, 40, 50,000 feet up in the air, and it rides along in the road smoother most of the time than it is on the highway. And then that thing's got enough fuel in it to get you from the Ukraine to Amsterdam, Holland, and Amsterdam, Holland to Atlanta, Georgia. That amazes me. But if you've ever flown an airplane, you know what faith is. You ever ridden in a car, you know what faith is. You ever walk down the street, you know what faith is. And so we do live a life of faith whether we understand it or not. But if we're going to be successful in recovery, we got to learn what it is to walk by faith. I'm required to walk by faith. Why? Because some days I can't figure it out. And some days it just doesn't make sense. And some days, you ever worked a puzzle and you can find, you get a puzzle together, if there's one piece you're looking for and you just can't find it anywhere? But if you'll keep working that puzzle and going to the places where you can find the pieces, eventually you'll find that piece that you couldn't find. And that's the way it is with recovery. Day by day and moment by moment, we got to keep moving forward. Progression is moving forward. Guess what, folks? Recovery is a progression. I hate to say this. I wish that when you work step 3, boom, God zapped you, and you never had another desire for drugs, or you never had another desire for alcohol, or you never had another desire for pornography, or say you never had any of those desires ever again. I wish that were true. But guess what, folks? For the majority of people, overwhelming majority, that's just not true. And so it's a progressive thing. You're moving toward that. And day by day, even when you mess up, you get back up. Even when you blow it, you get up and you get back on track and you keep moving forward. You may go 2 steps forward or 3 steps forward and 2 backwards, but guess what? You're still a step ahead. You're not where you were at one time. So I like this. He says, are you tired? Are you worn out? Are you burned out on religion? I don't know about you folks, but I don't like religion. Do you? I don't like religion. You say, Bruce, you're a preacher. I don't like religion. But guess what? Jesus didn't like religion either. Religious people nailed Jesus to the cross. And if they're going to nail him to the cross, you can just bet your bottom dollar they'll nail you to the cross. They get a chance. So we're burned out on religion. But folks, that's why we talk about Freedom Church being a perfect church for imperfect people. It's not about religion. It's not a relationship with a power that's greater than yourself that can restore you to sanity. Paul said, are you burned out on religion? And look at what he said. Jesus said this, come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and what? Just come to me. You know what? I like that. I like the word come. Because when you look at the word come, it can really become an acronym. Come just simply means this. Children can come. Older people can come. Middle-aged people can come. Everybody can come. And Jesus just said, come to me. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you've been involved in. He said, just come to me. He didn't say clean up and come to me. He didn't say get your act together and come to me. He didn't say when you get sober, come to me. He just said, come to me. And you know what? I'm glad you're here today. I don't care if you've been, I don't care, you know, if you used in the parking lot and came in here, that you've been clean at least 15 minutes. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here because I believe that faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word. I pray that you don't go back to where you were when you came in here. So Jesus said, just come to me, and I will do the work in your heart. You can't do it. You've already messed it up, but I'll change you. I'll work in your life. Look at what he said in Deuteronomy. He says, if you want to return to the Lord your God, then the Lord your God will what? From what? From your captivity. If you are in active addiction, or if you are in addiction tonight, you're in captivity. You're in bondage. You don't even know it. You're not free. If you're in addiction tonight, you're not free. You live and move at the well of your drug of choice. But God says if you want to return to the Lord your God, then the Lord your God will rescue you from your captivity. He will have mercy on you and come and gather you out of all the nations. And I put in parentheses or brackets addictions where you have been scattered. Though you are at the end of the earth, he will go and find you and bring you back again. Call heaven and earth to witness against you that day, that today I have set before you life or death, blessings or curse. Oh, that you would choose life, that you and your children might live. God says, I'm going to give you a choice. You see, tonight, what you've got to understand about addiction is a liar. You know, I remember back years ago, there was a beer commercial on the TV that used to say, you only go around once in life, just grab all the gusto you can get. But they never said you only go around once in life, and if you grab all the gusto you can get, you may end up in a gutter somewhere. You see, folks, the truth is, in 1995, when I went to Russia for the first time, I had an interpreter while I was in Russia. Her name was Katia. I'll never forget her. And I asked her one day while we were traveling from one place that we'd been preaching to another place to go preach and pass out Bibles. I'll never forget, Kathy and I were talking. I said, Kathy, what did you think about the States? What did you think about America before the curtain came down and we were able to come back over, or able to come over here for the first time? And you know what she told me? She looked at me and she said, Pastor Bruce, she said, I felt sorry for you folks. And I laughed and I said, you felt sorry for us? And she said, we felt sorry for you because all we ever saw were pictures on TV of people in America living in cardboard boxes and living under bridges. And she said all the propaganda that came out of the communist government led us to believe that people in America were poorer than we were and had living conditions worse than we did. And she said we were deceived. And that's the way many people in addiction are tonight. You're deceived. And you don't realize that you're a captive. You don't realize that you're in bondage. But Jesus said, if you want to get over that, just come to me. Well, that requires walking by faith. Now, what is faith? Well, there's been a lot of people that's described faith as faith, forsaking all I trust him, or forsaking all I take him. But those of you that have been listening to me for any length of time know that my favorite definition of faith is just trusting something to be so when it doesn't seem to be so, in order that it might be so because God said it was so. It's just taking God at his word. And if God says, come to me, then he meant come to him. If God says, I'll forgive you, then he meant he'll forgive you. If God said, I will restore you, then he will restore you. And so sometimes you just got to walk by faith. I don't understand it. I don't feel it. Man, it is tough today. It is hard today. I'm having the biggest struggle in my life today. But I'm not looking back because where I've come from is not good. So successful recovery requires us to walk by faith. Number 2, successful recovery requires me to accept the things I cannot change. Now I love Reinhold Deaver's prayer. I love when he says in the prayer, we'll quote it at the end of our session tonight, but I love that when he says that God grant me the serenity, grant me the peace of mind, grant me the tranquility. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I what? Cannot change. Can you change things about your life? Not really. There's some things that you may change a little bit here or there, but basically, by and large, you can't change what's going on in your life. Because I've never met an addict yet that really enjoyed their addiction. They may have enjoyed how they felt at times, but they didn't really enjoy that life that's cost them to lose everything they got. They didn't enjoy that being separated from their family. They didn't enjoy that. I've talked to guys, I talk to them every day that says, Brother, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get out because my family doesn't want me around anymore. You don't enjoy that. And so what I've got to learn to do is to accept the things I cannot change. And then walking by faith gives me the courage to change the things I can. I'm not going to read the verse again, but if you're tired and you're worn out and you're burned out on religion, he said, just come to him. You've got to accept those things you can't change. Look at the Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. I love what it says here. He says, trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do, everywhere you go. He's the one who will keep you on track. Don't assume you know it all. Run to God. Run from evil. Your body will glow with health and your very bones will vibrate with life. Let me ask you, how many of you that have been in sobriety, you've been sober for some time, how many of you would say that your mind begins to clear up?
Amen.
You begin to see things differently. You begin to experience things. You begin to see things. Man, I never saw this before. Well, that's what God said he would do for you. He says, run away. Your body will glow with health, and your very bones will vibrate with life. All of a sudden, you feel alive again. That's God. So if I'm going to be successful in recovery, number one, I got to walk by faith. And number two, I got to accept the thing. There's some things you're never going to change. Just accept that. There may be some relationships you'll never change. Accept that. Stop focusing on what you lost and start focusing on what you got left. And start looking ahead. Okay? Number three, successful recovery requires me to leave the past behind. We talked about that this morning. You got to leave your past behind you. Why? Because you can't change it. You can't change it. No, brothers, I do not have that life yet. But I do one thing. I forget everything that's behind me and look forward to that which is ahead of me. Now, I've told you 100 times that when Paul said, forget those things which are behind, he didn't mean to wipe it out of your memory, because you can't do that. How many of you remember some bad things you've done? Some stupid things you've done? Dumb things you've done? You wish you'd never done it. You remember that. And every time you start to try to do something right, guess what? Satan's going to bring it up to you. You blew it. You failed. You messed up. You fell off the wagon. You went back. Yeah, so what? I did. But I can't change that. One of my favorite sayings, you can't unscramble eggs. When the eggs are scrambled, you can either eat them or throw them away. But you can't change them. So what I do, I accept the things I can't change, and then I leave my past behind. So if you can't forget it, what does he mean? Stop being influenced by that. Stop letting that beat you down. Stop letting that tear you down. Now let me tell you something. There's a lot of people I know that they seem to keep going back and back and back. And some people even say, well, Bruce, I tried this God thing and it just didn't work for me. No, let me just be honest with you. You just turned to God to get you out of trouble. You didn't turn to God to change your life. And God doesn't play games. But when you really turn to Him, when you're really sick and tired of being sick and tired, when you really want to change, you come to Him, He'll change you. Amen. And you got to leave that past by. You got to quit being influenced by all that junk back here that keeps pulling you down. Look at what he says here, Matthew 6:34. Give your entire attention to what God is doing when? Right now. Give your entire attention to what God is doing right now, and don't get worked up about what may or may not happen tomorrow. God will help you deal with whatever hard things come up when the time comes. Amen? Amen. I love what someone said here. It said sometimes burning bridges isn't a bad thing. It prevents you from going back to a place you should never have been in the first place. Some of you need to burn some bridges with your past. You need to burn some. You need to set them afire. You need to burn them up and walk away from them. You say, well, Bruce, if I don't go back to where I came from, then I'm not going to have anywhere to stay. You'd be a whole lot better off to have nowhere to stay and not go back. Because when you really work this step, if you don't have anywhere to go, God will show you where to go. And God will provide somewhere for you to go. So burn the bridges that keep you beat down. Burn the bridges that keep you stuck in the past. Burn those bridges and move ahead. Walk by faith. Accept what you cannot change and leave your past behind you. And the fourth thing, real quick, is successful recovery requires me to keep moving ahead. Just keep moving ahead. Just keep on walking. There's never been the slightest doubt in my mind that the God who started this great work in you would keep at it and bring it to a flourishing finish. There's never been the slightest doubt in my mind. Now, I may have doubted that I would make it to the finish. I may have doubted that some people would make it to the finish. But there's never been the slightest doubt in my mind that God who began the work in you wouldn't get you to the finish. Because God's not going to sponsor a flop. And so you just got to keep moving ahead. If you fail, get up, dust off with God's grace, and keep moving. If you've blown it, get up and dust off and keep moving. And don't look back. Now, you've heard me say this many, many times. I don't believe for 1 minute that relapse is a part of recovery. I believe that relapse does happen. But if you accept it as being a viable part of recovery, then you're going to always have an excuse to relapse. Because you're going to just say, well, that's part of the program. No, it's not. Relapse is a reality in the program, but it's not part of the program. You don't have to go back. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy not to go back, but I'm telling you you don't have to go back. If you go back, that's a choice you made. And if you go back, then you got to live with those consequences. But you got to keep moving ahead. Because when God begins a good work in you, God's going to complete that work. Look at what he says here. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on who? The pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Now, have you ever thought about what Jesus actually went through? How many of you think it would be fun to have your back beaten 39 times with a leather strap, many leather straps that had bone and glass and metal and stuff in it? And when that leather strap would hit you, it would wrap around your body, and that glass and that metal and those pieces of steel that was in there, those bones, would stick in your body, and then they would yank it back, and when they yanked it back, it pulled all the flesh out. Do you think that was fun? Do you think it would be fun to have about 2-inch thorns shoved down in your scalp? Do you think it would be fun to have somebody to snatch your beard out of your head, out of your face? And slap you? Beat you unmercifully? Would that be fun? No. But guess what? It says, for the joy set before him, he in what? Endured the cross. It didn't say he enjoyed it. And folks, getting clean is not easy. And getting clean sometimes takes endurance. And getting clean means sometimes you may just have to lock yourself in a room somewhere where you can't get out and stay there until that craving gets past. And getting clean means sometimes you have to do things that you don't really want to do. And getting clean means that sometimes you may have to be ugly to people that you love. To stay away from them. But if Jesus had not endured the cross, he would have never received the crown. If Jesus had not endured the crucifixion, we would have no hope because there would have never been a resurrection. But it didn't say Jesus enjoyed it, it said he endured it. Yeah, Jesus was all God, but when he was here on earth, he was all man. And he hurt just like you hurt. And he hurt just like I hurt. But he endured that for you, and endured it for me. So recovery is not easy. If recovery was easy, everybody could do it. But recovery is for those who are willing to endure and keep hanging on and keep working the steps, not just in order to be able to quote them, but working them to get better. And when you're willing to work step 3, then you genuinely get on the road to recovery. So how can I walk the walk and not just talk the talk? Let me give you these 4 blanks real quick. Number 1, you got to believe that Jesus died on the cross for you and he rose from the dead. Number 2, you got to accept God's free forgiveness for your sins. You got to accept that. You got to accept his free forgiveness. You can't earn it. You don't have enough money to pay for it. You got to accept it as a free gift. So number 1, I got to believe that Jesus died on the cross for my sin. Number 2, I got to accept God's free forgiveness. Number 3, I've got to switch to God's plan for my life. I got to turn my life and will, my attitude and action over to Him. I switch from my way of doing things to His way. And then number 4, I've got to express my desire for Christ to be the director of my life. Now, if you look at those 4 words, and you take the first letter out of each word, what do you spell? Base. In order to work step 3, you got to touch all the bases. Probably one of the cutest, sweetest things that I've ever seen are kids when they're just barely able to hold the ball bat. And they set a ball up on a tee, or the coach pitches the ball where they can hit it. And they'll take off running. Now, sometimes it takes the coach a while to tell them, you don't go to third base first. Or you don't go to second base first. But the coach's desire is to teach them to go to first base, second base, third base, in order to go where? In order to go home. Folks, that's the way it is in recovery. That's the way it is to work step 3. You got to touch the bases. And you can't go down and touch third base till you touch first base. So first base is you got to believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins and He rose from the dead. And second base is you got to be willing to accept God's free gift of forgiveness. And third base is you got to be willing to switch to God's plan for your life. And home plate is when you express your desire for Christ to be the director of your heart. When you do that, that's working step 3. You'll notice that none of these bases says you got to promise you'll never fail. You got to promise you'll never mess up. You got to promise you're going to straighten up your act. But you do have to notice that God says you just got to touch the bases. You got to come to me. If you're here tonight and you never worked step 3, I'm not saying if you're here tonight and you don't know how to quote step 3, but if you're here tonight and you never worked step 3, tonight would be a good night to start that. We're going to have some of our workers down here. They're going to be down here and they'll help you. If you need to come for prayer, you come for prayer. Whatever you need to do, you just obey God. Father, I pray tonight that you give us the courage to obey you. Give us the courage to be about your business. Give us the courage to work with this step. Father, I pray tonight that you would help us to focus on you. God, I pray for those that have just been playing the game, that tonight they would genuinely work this step. I pray for those tonight that have been struggling, that they would come and just turn their life and their will, their attitude and actions over to you. God, I pray tonight that you would just help us to be obedient